Hello friends, Adam here with FED. Today we're going to be taking a look at all of the story emblem rings in Fire Emblem Engage. We're not going to be doing the DLC ones because I want to wait for all of those to be out before I talk about them. And since there's still 2 that are coming out just this week, in fact, I wanted to wait to talk about them all. So no Hector, no Camilla, no Soren, Three Houses Ring Tiki. We're going to wait until we get Corrin and we get Veronica before we talk about all those. But we will be doing these story-required emblem rings today, and we'll be talking about the 12 initial ones. I have Ephraim on here as well that I'll talk about a little bit, but he's less important than, of course, Erica, who's like the main one, and she'll be more of the like concrete ranking for them. But anyways, the way we're tiering today, it's less about inheritance, because we could talk about inheritance, but I think that kind of muddies the waters on which emblem rings are actually good to equip or not. So that's really what I want to talk about. I want to talk about ones that are good for syncing, so equipping, and ones that are good for engaging with. Rather than, oh, Sigurd's really good because is the best one because you can inherit Cantor from him. Or, I don't know. I don't want to give, like, Ike credit for Wrath because you can inherit Wrath or something like that. Or anything, or, you know, even freaking Erica for, I don't know, if you want to inherit Lunar Brace. I don't want to give credit for that. I want to say how good does it make a unit and how much does it impact the map you're playing on at that given time when equipped. So they'll get credit for skills on that unit, but not necessarily for being inheritable. So we have 4 different tiers. Amazing tier speaks for itself. Great tier, slightly less good than amazing. I felt like I just needed 2 really good tiers, you know, essentially. One that's like top and one that's like still top or high, I guess. Needs upgrade is its own unique little thing here. Needs upgrade just means they aren't really that good, or they don't really reach their full potential until they have their level 10, or sorry, a level 11 to 19 bonds unlocked by doing their, or level 20, I should say, unlocked by doing their paralog. And then emblem rings are ones that are just, even with the level 20, they're just kind of okay. And I say okay because I don't think any of the emblem rings are bad, because they all are just incredible stat buffs that give some useful skills in some regard. I just think there are some that are lacking when you kind of compare them against everything else. So we're going to go in order that you get them in the game. And again, I'll give you a spoiler warning if there's a major spoiler, which there will be. I will not spoil it without saying so first. But for now, we're going to talk about the 12 main ones that we know that like are in all the trailers and we all know about, right? Okay, Marth. When you first get him, he's their first emblem ring, first introduction. So you're like, oh my gosh, Marth is insane. He turns a Lear into an absolute boss, or turns even someone like Fram into a fairly usable combat unit. And you would think, oh man, he's amazing. The problem with Marth though is that as soon as you get other emblem rings, you kind of realize he's just okay. The one thing Marth has that moves him up from okay, though, and I'll stick him in great for this, is the fact that he has Mercurius. Mercurius is probably the best engaged weapon in the game because it doubles your earned experience, but because of that, the more important thing is it doubles your earned SP in battle. So doubled SP is really good for getting getting those skills like Cantor early, getting, maybe your avoid plus 20 if you want that, or strength plus, speed plus, all those different skills you might want. But in particular, Cantor is kind of the big one that everyone wants to get a hold of as soon as possible. Or it makes it easier to get to skills that are incredibly expensive but are super powerful, like late game, like stuff like Lunar Brace is inheritable would be nice. So I think for that alone, it makes him great, probably bottom of great, and he doesn't need the upgrade to get that. Post upgrade, he just kind of gets upgrades to Perceptive and Unyielding, which are really underwhelming. Perceptive is kind of good, Unyielding is kind of trash. I don't hate that he gives he gives like good stat buffs is what I'm trying to say, with the speed. And Falchion is fine. Being effective against dragons isn't as nice as it could be. There's better ways to take care of dragons that aren't Marth. And by the time he rejoins after he leaves the party, being effective against dragons isn't as good as you would think. However, I will say that Divine Speed when engaged is nice, and Break Defense can help you net kills, because a lot of times in Engage in general, you are like 1 or 2 points or 3 or 4 points off from killing an enemy, and break defenses or divine speed can make up that difference. Even the first like real battle map that you can lose units on, I believe it's considered chapter 2. The first, on Maddening at least, first turn you want to engage so that you can kill an enemy with divine speed, not even with Lodestar Rush. So that's cool. And Lodestar Rush is fine. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but it does damage. So I think there's definitely better engage attacks, but that's one of them, I guess. I think he definitely belongs in great because of Mercurius and his the way he contributes early game. But I definitely think there's other ones that are better than him. All right, Celica. Celica's a hard one for me to rank here. Celica's a hard one to rank for me. Oh, I have this out of order. It would be Sigurd first. Never mind. Sigurd. Sigurd first is who we're going to talk about. Sigurd is incredible. I don't think anyone will argue with me on this, that Sigurd is definitely an amazing emblem. He stands out among pretty much everything else as incredible. He is stupid good. Stupid good. He gives +1 move at base, which is awesome. Gives +1 build, which is great for some units like a Saline who wants to use 11 sword but doesn't have the build to not get slowed down like crazy with it. Defense is nice and Dex is okay. I mean, hit rates can be rough in this game. I think other big selling points though are momentum. You get +1 attack for every space moved on your first attack, which you don't need to be upgraded to get that. For some reason in my head I was like, maybe you do, but you totally don't. It's like level 3, I think. And then he gets momentum plus a 17, which I know that in my head, but I forgot for a second. I don't know. Anyways, essentially +10 to your first attack in a combat is really, really powerful. Again, it's a similar thing to like Divine Speed or Break Defense from Marth, where I feel like I'm so often like just 1 or 2 points off from killing, and that makes the difference, right? Gallop is insane, +5 move. Really stupid when engaged. Override is one of the better engage attacks in my opinion, considering it hits in a line, gives you extra movement, and really my perception of Sigurd is painted by using him with Saline, who is a mystical and Vidame. And the mysticals deal an extra 25% of magic as damage, which is really, really good. And then you use it with like 11 sword, and that's really, really good. Sigurd just has all the tools to be incredibly powerful. Gallop plus momentum and Canter is incredible. It's a sync skill that you get right from the get-go with him. Upon leveling up your bond, you know, if you can get it to level 13, you get Canter Plus, which is 3 spaces of movement. Yeah, he's kind of insane. He's kind of insane. I'm not as hot on his engaged weapons though. Like Tyrfing is just like a strong sword, I guess, basically. Brave Lance is incredibly inaccurate and hard to hit with, in my opinion. Just doesn't justify it. And then Rider's Bane has some niche uses, right? You can actually have some pretty powerful Rider's Bane overrides if you're lucky. Yeah, Sigurd's incredible. +1 move alone would put him in amazing. But the fact that he gives all these other perks is just easy, amazing tier unit or ring. All right, Celica. I feel bad about this one, guys. I feel really bad about this one. Celica is going to be our first okay ring. Celica is one of my favorite characters in the series, so it just kind of stinks to put her so low. But Celica, again, joins early, so you think, oh man, this Celica ring is incredibly powerful. But she has the problem of, well, number one, she disappears forever. Number two, there's just better options for what she can do, if that makes sense. Being able to warp Ragnarok isn't that good more often than not, because you have to warp into like an area and then potentially just get destroyed on the next turn. And since bosses like every boss in the game except for like the first couple have multiple health bars, not like warp Ragnarok just isn't, you know, feasible. You're warping to the boss to kill him just doesn't work because you have to have other units there to clean up for you. I remember Warp Ragnarok, everyone was really hot on it when the game was first, when she was first shown off and the game was pretty much first announced. But I think the whole community as a whole has kind of cooled down on Warp Ragnarok. It's not perceived as well. I think Seraphim is really great, especially late game though. A lot of corrupted enemies. So I won't sleep on Seraphim. Recover, I don't really care about Recover as a weapon. And then Ragnarok, I almost just prefer Seraphim overall for the effective damage. So, and then like Holy Stance is garbage. Resonance is good, but you also take damage, which like is fine for the most part, because +3 damage from Resonance Plus, and I think it's +2 damage from Resonance is good, but it's also like, I've died because of it, so I don't like it for that reason, but the answer to that is just, you know, be better at the game. I think her biggest, maybe her biggest standout is actually Favorite Food, which allows her to engage when eating a meal. So that might be it. But yeah, or no, sorry, raise her engage meter when she's eating a meal, which is good. But there's just other rings that are better. Like I think most rings are just better than what Celica has going on. Sorry if you're barking in the background. I'm not going to cut it out. I don't care. All right, Makaya. Makaya is... I could say one thing, and, you know, 4-person warp or 5-person rewarp is... Or 5-person rescue. It's stupid, guys. It's so good. You know, Warp, it's like what Warp Ragnarok wanted to be, except it's not. So good, man. This is, yeah, Makaya is stupid. Incredibly strong. Like, she doesn't even really need anything else. Great Sacrifice is incredible for leveling up units. There's a, you know, you should go watch Choop's video about like SP for that. Cleric Plus or whatever, Cleric Plus, Cleric. Interesting skill to let non-staff units use a staff, but like I'd rather put it on like Hortensia, who already has another +1 range to her staves, you know? Yeah, Makaya is insane. No one's gonna disagree with me on that. Roy. No, Roy. What do I even do with Roy? Because like I like that he gives +6 strength at max bond, which is kind of crazy. And +10 HP is also kind of crazy at max bond. But I don't know. Like Rise Above is cool, I guess. Can like give you a couple like buffs here and there, which is nice. But I don't love it. Hold out plus, you know, is like definitely his big selling point, but he needs upgraded before that's really good. I mean, and hold out plus is good on like a lower defense unit, or even hold out plus is good, or just hold out is good on a lower defense unit. But on someone that's like tanking, you definitely don't necessarily want, you know, Roy there. I like that he gets a 1/2 range weapon with Binding Blade when engaged, and it gives defense, which is cool. It kind of works with hold out. But again, once you get to hold out plus, that doesn't matter as much. Yeah, I'm not super hot on Roy. I think he is good, but he definitely needs the upgrade before he really stands out. He really wants the higher holdouts, in my opinion, before he's incredible. So we're going to put him in like needs upgrade, but he does become great with the upgrade, I think. Just like +6 strength is so hard to look away from, you know. Also, the Lance Reaver is also a cool weapon, just another way to break things. So, yeah, he's all right. He's pretty good, I guess. If upgraded. He definitely needs the upgrade to be a big contributor. All right, let's look at Leaf. He's Leaf of Leonster. Build is his thing, right? He gives a lot of build, which is funny. I like that they did that because his is the only game that had the build stat before this one. So it's kind of cute that they gave Leaf the plus build stat buff to units, which gets up to +5 build at level 20, which is kind of insane. That allows you to, on a unit with low build, someone like Fram or Saline, or I'm trying to think, like Clan even. I'm trying to think of other small units, or Anna. Like getting up to +5 build can end up just being +5 speed on a unit when they're using heavy stuff. So I like it. I like it quite a bit. I think people's big thing they're going to point to with Leaf, though, is Vantage. And him having Vantage as a skill is really good because you're able to pair it with other skills, like Wrath. So him with so that way you use him, and then it's less expensive to have the Wrath Vantage combo, right? So, yeah, Leaf's big selling point though is that he gives all the proficiencies in the world. Like, if you need a proficiency, Leaf probably gives it, and you just learn it from bonding with him. He gives like knife precision, which is not, and he gives like knife precision. Which, man, this is weird skills, dude. I'm sorry, I'm looking at it. I'm just like not impressed. Not impressed by Leaf here. Yeah, he's all right. I don't even know. I don't even like quadruple hit that much. It's not bad though. It could be worse. I'm gonna put Leaf in okay. I think he does do better than Celica, but yeah, he's just okay in my mind. All right, let's talk about Lucina. Lucina turns any one unit into a backup nightmare, right? Because dual strike is silly gooses. So dual strike, no, sorry, not dual strike, dual assist. If a unit is able to chain attack, unit will do so when ally attacks foe. Foe's unit could reach by moving. So, and that's 35% at base, but then once you get dual assist plus, it becomes a 70% trigger. So 70% of the time with dual assist plus, if you have a unit with like high move, like a mage knight or something, and with 1/2 range, they're just going to hit everything. They're just going to join in on like every attack for a free 10% damage on the enemy, which can't be understated how good that is. Also, just allowing anything with dual strike to participate in chain attacks is very, very powerful. Bonded shield by itself, though, is something that could set Lucina apart as one of the best emblems in the game. All for One is also interesting, especially if used on a Lear or spoiler character, because chain attacks are guaranteed to hit with those. So, but yeah, she's at least amazing, maybe even higher, in incredibly. Like I could see her going higher in amazing depending on who you talk to, but I just really like Lucina. Turns a unit into an incredibly valuable asset to your team, almost instantly. I would argue you want her upgraded to get the full use out of her, but even not upgraded, she still has bond shield, so that alone is enough to put her in amazing. All right, Lynn. Lynn is interesting because she turns pretty much any physical unit or even a lot of magical units just good. She's one of those. She just turns she just turns units into monsters with the speed buff that she gives, with Alacrity, which is really fun to use. Astra Storm can be silly, especially when used with like a covert unit like an archer with a really powerful bow. Very fun. I do like Lynn a lot. She might be one of the better, like just straight up combat emblem rings. But outside of that, she doesn't really do much, you know? She is literally here to kill things. Aside from call double, I guess call doubles could be considered that's more utility, you know, more defensive, because she is just like summoning, you know, body, like meat sacks, or, you know, like meat shields, I should say, for your army, which is very good. So I think I'm just going to put Lynn in amazing, just because I don't feel like she does quite as much as the other. No, Lynn goes like here. And I think Lucina probably goes here. Yeah, I think that's fair. Let's do that. Because, like, Lucina turns a unit into someone who is, like, invaluable to your army. Sigurd turns your unit into an incredibly high move, versatile, strong attacker unit guy. Or even healer. I don't know, you could do anything with that. Just high move is really good. And then Lynn turns a unit into just a monster of combat unit. Also really great for luring bosses, by the way. Because just use Astra Storm from like a mile away. Especially with a covert from 20 spaces away. It's ridiculous. You just nuke a boss and they start moving towards you, which is like an easy way to take care of like Ike in his paralog and plenty of other bosses. Like when you have to go to the Solm Castle or whatever, that's a really good example of that in my mind. So, yeah, Lynn's amazing. Ike. Ike. Ike really, really needs the upgrade before he really pops off. Ike really needs the upgrade before he can really pop off, because he really wants Wrath to kind of complete his whole shtick of getting hit and then dealing a bunch of damage back, you know? And then Ragnall for that +5 defense, but also just 1/2 range while engaged. Also, Resolve Plus is really nice. So the fact that like taking 50% less damage when engaged is incredibly good. But that's kind of the thing, though, with Ike. I feel like if you're not engaged, Ike isn't doing a whole lot outside of reposition, which is good, don't get me wrong. But outside of reposition and I guess, like, I don't know, demolish. That's a thing that's there. I do like his stat buffs, though. It's really great for a tank unit, or people really like to put Ike with Diamant. I think he becomes great once he gets the level 20 bond upgrade, but before then he doesn't perform as well. Other popular Ike people, you know, like Pennet and all that. So yeah, I think again his big selling point right off the get-go is reposition's really good, but then also Lagu's Friend and sorry, Lagu's Friend, and then Resolve is also really good. So when I saw the name of the thing Resolve, I thought for sure it was going to be like Resolve from Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, where it just makes you an incredibly powerful combat unit when you're under 50% HP. That'd have been cool, but they didn't do that. Okay, let's talk about Bioth, shall we? Yeah, this is kind of an easy one, guys. Bioth is definitely amazing. Yeah, we'll do that. Bioth just makes it so a super dancer, right? And then on a dragon is +3 to all targets base stats when danced for, which is just dumb. This is just dumb. The other standouts like Covert's +5, backup is Covert's +5 speed, backup +4 strength, and then probably Mystical with +4 magic. But yeah, Goddess Dance alone is enough to put Bioth in amazing tier for me. Outside of that, mentorship, giving extra experience to adjacent allies is cool. Sword of the Creator being 1/2 range is cool. Divine Pulse is pretty niche, but it's there. So, and also if you're into support buffing or getting supports up, Lost and Found is cool. That's something I didn't talk about with Lucina, by the way, is dual support, I believe it was called. I think it's called, or dual assist. No, it's dual. I think it's dual support is what it's called, right? Let me check really quick so I don't lie to you guys. Yeah, dual support at level 13. You just get plus avoid for adjacent allies that your supports with, which can make quite the dodge tank regardless of class or terrain. So yeah, sorry. But back to Bioth. I think Bioth is really good, especially with, like, if you have him on a mystical unit, you have Thyrsus access. Other ones, Failnot's good for +20 avoid. Arid Bar is kind of insane on cavalry because +50% might. Yeah, I like it a lot. Bioth's incredible. Okay. Corrin +15 HP at max bond rate is so funny. It's so silly. I love it though. I freaking love it. And for me though, Corrin is an incredibly good support unit. I think I'll put her in great. I think I need to move Lynn. I'm going to move Lynn down to great as well, because I don't think she quite hits the level of these other 4 up here. But yeah, I think Corrin, Dragon Veins are incredibly good, right? But then stuff like Dreadful Aura and then Draconic Hex make taking out bosses so much easier. And then Torrential Roar, which is Corrin's engage attack, creates water tiles on whoever you attack. So that is a great way to start attacking a boss, especially like late game ones that start off on forts or other high terrain that just like make them impossible to hit, right? The -30 avoid from water tiles can really make the difference there. And then also hits them with Draconic Hex. Yeah, Corrin is incredible for like map control as well because of Dragon Veins. Vein of Flame and Vein of Fog are the standouts, but then and Vein of Ice is also very good for slowing enemies. I can't, based on personal experience, I think I want to put her in Amazing, but I don't think I can really justify doing it. Like, does Corrin really make as much of an impact on the map as someone like Sigurd or Lucina? You know? Maybe the real question is, are Makaya and Bioth really just like in a tier of their own? You know? I don't want to do that. I would think I would make another tier above that for like Super Omega top tier rather than make... yeah, you know, let's do it. Hate to do it. I hate to add a tier, but we're going to. Super Omega top tier. Super Omega top tier. Makaya. Yeah, let's do that. I like that. A little more stack. Could you please? Okay. Super Omega top tier. And we'll make it, I don't know, let's make it purple. Makaya, the Super Omega top tier. And I think Bioth goes there as well. Yeah, I like this better. I think I like this better. Then I feel better about putting Lynn in Amazing, I think. Yeah. That's good. All right, next we have Erica. Actually, let's do Ephraim first. Ephraim is just okay. Basically no reason to switch to Ephraim. He's Garbo. Erica, on the other hand, let me tell you. Erica is silly good. Erica is the best combat ring in the game because of Lunar Brace. If unit initiates combat with a physical attack, deals extra damage equal to 20% of foe's defense. Notice it doesn't say that you nullify 20% of the foe's defense. That defense is added to your attack damage. So no matter what, even if your attack is lower than 80% of their defense, you're still dealing damage. So you put that on a Chi Adept, someone using arts, and they just punch through enemies with high defense, especially if they can quad. That's been my favorite thing on my Magic Only playthrough. I have Erica on Fram using, and Magic Only, yeah, I include arts in Magic Only, just so you know. But yeah, Erica on Fram for Magic Only, and with the flashing fist art, the speed fist art, whatever. She doubles and then just deals a ton of damage to like dragons, to even like armor knights. Basically kills everything. Very, very fun to use. And once you get upgraded and get Lunar Brace Plus, and it's 30%, just silly good. And being able to give gentility and bravery to the entire map when engaged is really good as well. So Erica is good from the get-go. I think people think Erica is bad because of her join chapter. She joins on Rosado, and he is less than impressive. Erica really shines on a unit that can double. So I love Erica on dagger units, whether it's a Wolf Knight or something else, a thief, really great. Or on Chi Adepts, which are going to be doubling regardless. So Erica is amazing. One of the best combat units in the game. I mean, combat rings, and probably the best combat ring in the game. I think I have to put her like here though, because I think the high move from Sigurd and Bond Shield from Lucina outdo her. Okay, and finally, it's time to talk about spoiler. There is a spoiler ring in the game. If you don't know who the spoiler ring is, you should probably leave. This is a very late game spoiler ring. If you don't know who they are, leave, because it will spoil the game for you completely. Not completely. It's foreshadowed pretty heavily, but it'll still spoil you. Okay, and that ring is a Lear. That ring is a Lear. I do like that Alir's, it's like the bond is based off of support levels and stuff. The biggest thing that Alir has going for him/her/them is that they have the ability to not engage just one unit, but 2 units at a time, which is really stupid, and it can be with anybody. Also, Bond Forger is silly, giving plus 30 hit and avoid to allies within 2 spaces that also have an emblem ring equipped. Not even engaged, just equipped. Really, really silly good. Also, it makes units around them, gives the units around them the effective against Fell Dragon, which is very important for late game, where there are not only the final boss is a Fell Dragon, but there are worms, or the creepy fat dragon enemies that are Fell Dragon type and not Dragon type anymore. So Dragon effective weaponry doesn't work on them. You have to use Fell Dragon effective weaponry, which is basically just a leer. So as far as weaponry goes, being able engage weapons, Lyration, however you say it, is cool. I like that it fills engage meter. There's better ways to fill engage meter, but that's a way. Dragon Fist, I haven't used it well yet. I will be using it well on this next playthrough. And then Alli Goludia, or however you say it, being effective against Corrupted is just incredibly nice for late game, which is when you get a leer. So yeah, I don't think anyone would argue with me that a leer is up here somewhere. Maybe like here. I'm tempted to say Super Omega top tier just because 2 engages and then both of those units still getting to act that turn is kind of silly. And then being able to stack Bond Forger for plus avoid and hit with your units is really good. But actually, no, the more I read it, the more I think about it, yeah, at least Lucina tier, at least Lucina good. But those are just my thoughts for the emblem rings. What do you think? Do you think my list is garbage? Let me know. And actually, you can go to the Discord. If you go to the announcement section, there's an announcement there that says, hey, make a tier list for this game. And I'm going to be reviewing some of your tier lists that you post in the Discord. If you have questions about it, just go there and ask. Link to the Discord in the description. But yeah, I'm going to be making a video where I criticize your guys' list instead of you criticizing mine. It's going to be fun. Anyways, thanks for watching. Subscribe, like the video, and I'll catch you all next time.